Hi, John. Thank you for meeting with me today. I'd like to walk you through the results of the assessments you completed. My goal is to explain what each measure looks at, review your scores with you, and talk about what they mean for your emotional health moving forward. You completed 4 well-established tools: the BECK Depression Inventory, the BECK Hopelessness Scale, the BECK Anxiety Inventory, and the BECK Scale for Suicide Ideation. These assessments help us understand your mood, thinking patterns, anxiety symptoms, and whether there are any concerns related to self-harm. They don't diagnose anything on their own, but they do guide us in understanding your current level of distress. Your depression score was 32, which does fall in the severe range. This suggests that you've been dealing with significant symptoms like persistent sadness, loss of interest, self-criticism, and difficulty concentrating or feeling motivated. Depression at this level can make your everyday functioning feel extremely heavy. The good news is that these symptoms are treatable and we can absolutely work on them together. Your hopelessness scale was a 13, and that does fall in the moderate range. This measure looks at your expectations about the future. Your responses suggest that right now it may feel hard to imagine positive changes or believe things could ever improve. Hopelessness often overlaps with depression, so this does fit with what you've been experiencing. Your anxiety score was 18, also in moderate range. You reported symptoms like difficulty relaxing, shortness of breath, shakiness, and a fear of losing control. Anxiety and depression commonly show up together, and both seem to be contributing to the level of distress you've been feeling. I want to discuss your suicide-related responses gently and clearly because your safety is my top priority. On the depression questionnaire, you endorsed the statement, "I would kill myself if I had the chance." That tells me you were experiencing significant emotional pain when you completed that form. However, on the suicide-specific questionnaire, you reported no desire to kill yourself, a stronger wish to live, and that you would try to save your life if you were in danger. These responses do not match each other, and that's actually very common. People sometimes answer based on a moment of intense emotion on one measure and reflect more long-term intentions on another. What matters most is understanding what was happening for you when you marked those items. Taken together, your results show severe depression, moderate hopelessness, and moderate anxiety. That combination can absolutely feel extremely overwhelming. The mixed suicide responses tell me we need to check in carefully about how you're feeling right now. Our next step is to talk about your current safety and create a plan that supports you as an individual, whether that's a safety plan, therapy strategies, or additional resources that I can provide you. These results don't define you. They simply show the weight that you've been struggling to carry, and there are effective ways to help you feel better. Before we move forward, how are you feeling after hearing this information? And is there anything you'd like to talk more about before we start discussing our next steps?